Hello and welcome once again to Hernando County Professionals Week in Review. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dave Curtis, and I have a website called HernandoBusinessProfessionals.com and HernandoCountyProfessionals.com. They're both leading to the same place. So that website has been there for a little while, and it is for the use of helping with the reputations of the businesses in Hernando County. It's a reputation management website where I can put together the stories and the background on what's going on with the events that are occurring and the people who are running it, the people who are volunteering, the people who are the movers and the shakers involved in doing those different events. So for your part, you are the businesses, you're the county professionals, and anytime you have something going on that you'd like to get some publicity out there, it's a PR page, it's a press release page, it's a public relations page, get it over to me at David at HernandoCountyProfessionals.com, and I will get it. There's also another website I run that's called BrooksvilleBusiness.com, and that is my tourism site. It's a site that I put up several years ago for the Brooksville Business Alliance, and the Alliance no longer is no longer acting in the capacity of having a website at all that I'm aware of. I don't even believe there is a Brooksville Business Alliance any longer. I left that group quite some time ago. But that site is back up again. It's under my control. I've owned the domain straight through, and at this point there's a good use for it since it's got good traffic and people have known about it. And I had a sign up for a newsletter from the site on the BrooksvilleBusiness.com website, and I would get about 25 requests a week for people who wanted to receive an email notification of events, and then I'd pass that along to the officers of the Business Alliance, and then they would do with it whatever it was they were going to do with it. Theoretically, put together a newsletter and send it out. Okay, so I've got that website, so that's something that's really good. It'll help if you've got an event going on and you want people to come, a function that's happening, and you need the snowbirds to sign up for it, take part in an art, exhibit where you want to bring people in to see your artwork, or you're going to be doing like the bicycle race here in Brooksville. We just had a bicycle race on Saturday. That is the Brooksville Cycling Classic on October 19th, and there was also an art and market walk going on. That was great. I was there. I was taking some pictures. I got them up on the BrooksvilleBusiness.com website as part of the blog. Now, a couple of things I'm going to be doing with the website on the BrooksvilleBusiness.com site is putting in a mobile theme. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've done it on the ChinsapeakeHillCelebration.org website that I built, where people are able to go in and see a separate theme. I personally don't like having to go to see the desktop view, but that's because I'm using an HTC DNA, which has a fairly decent sized screen, and I'm able to zoom in and read that myself without any problem. But I understand a lot of people have problems seeing, and they'll want bigger letters and less functionality. In effect, that's why I don't like mobile themes. They always have less functionality. It seems like there's always something missing from them, which is okay, I suppose. If people have no other choice, then that's the way to go. Okay, so I'll be adding that in. I'm also going to be putting together some ad rates. Everybody I go to asks for rates. I'll say, listen, how about $200 for a year for a banner, and for the top banner it'll be $500 for a year. Or if you're going to have an event going on that's a promotion for a free event that's happening, if it's in any way related to tourism that'll help people. For instance, somebody was asking me for a restaurant. But they also have a classic car show. They also are thinking of putting in some entertainment in the right on the property next to them. Real entertainment, where they're all connected. And of course, a banner for that sort of an activity. There's something new happening. I'm all for it. But if it's not anything to do with tourism at all, I'd rather not have it there. However, the top banner's available as a spot for a fee. The side banners are definitely there for a fee for a year. I can put together 150 by 150 pixel banners, and here's where we're getting into the point of, well, give me a ballpark, put together your ad rates sheet, which is what I'm going to have to do, and I should have done this already. But I preferred to do it on a casual basis so that it would be, easy to sign up for and without having to think very much about it because the rate would be low. But I'm going to have to obviously put together rates where there's going to be silver and gold and platinum and the whole thing. And I guess people like that, right? So that's what I'll do. The weekend of the 2nd of November at the Olive Grove, this is something that's not on the site yet. I'll be putting it up there. Raw olive curing at the Grove, at 15016 Rester Drive, which is by the Hernando Eye Clinic, by the VA clinic, over there on 50 in Brooksville, just where Grove Road is. Not Sunshine Grove Road, but it's right after the Suncoast Highway, and it's by the bicycle path. So anyway, that's going to be over there on Saturday, the 2nd of November, not this coming Saturday. And then the Delayed Parrots, if you've never heard the Delayed Parrots, they're coming on the 9th of November. They're excellent. They're absolutely a whole lot of fun. They play musical instruments. Obviously, they're a band. But it's more like calypso. It's Hawaiian. I mean, I feel like the Delayed Parrots, that's a play on words, with the Hawaiian lei. And it's just such terrific music for Florida because you feel like you're not in Florida. You feel like, hey, the palm trees and the coconuts. I'm off on a beautiful island somewhere. I'm in a lush place, and Florida really is that way too. I say that we should do more of that. I think tourism needs more of that tropical. And one of the things I remember seeing was John St. John, who runs the Hernando Youth Orchestra, also has a djembe band. And the djembe band plays the traditional African drum music. And he's got a lot of young folks in the community interested in exploring their ancient ancestral musical instrument, culture, their music culture. And they'll go in and they'll play in the djembe band, and they're really into it. They go into garb. They wear the traditional costumes of the folks, the clothing that I'm calling costumes, but in effect they are actually the culture's particular individual dress. So they'll go in there, they'll play, they'll bring, and you feel like, hey, it's hot, it's tropical, it's really, it fits, it really does, and they're happy and everybody's good. We love it. And I'll say that. So we have a bunch of stuff going on here. The Delayed Parrots, November 9th, also a Saturday at the Olive Grove. And the reason why I know that is because Deirdre Davis runs the Olive Grove. She owns the Olive Grove, and she tells me these things. So, you tell me, I will tell everyone. And that's part of my job, just as a give back to the county. Now, today hasn't been going on. Oh yeah, I got some content delivery here. The content delivery on the network works. Here's what usually happens when you go to a website. It kind of gets a little slow sometimes because there's pictures coming from other websites. And those other websites, I'm not saying that right. All of the photos and everything that's coming from the website come from inside of your server where your website is hosted. But content delivery network systems work that there are multiple servers throughout the world, or throughout the United States, or throughout a region of the United States, where images are stored in various places closer to the person visiting your website. So your website may deliver just the text, just this stuff. But the closest server to the person's home, which has greater bandwidth and no bottlenecks, or very few bottlenecks as compared to the text portion, that slips right through because it's very small. The content will be delivered from those servers that are closest to the visitor, and that helps to speed up the load time of the website, so there's less waiting and less chance of people clicking out and deciding they're getting tired of waiting and they don't want to stay on your website and see what you have to offer. So that said, I have devised a way of distributing the content to different IP addresses, and here's why this is important as well. It's possible and this is a technical area because I'm a network engineer, the connection for your browser, Internet Explorer, or for Firefox, or for I want to say Gmail. It's the G browser. Those things actually are Chrome, Google Chrome. Those things actually pick up like 5 different IP addresses at once. You can have 5 IP addresses with a port number. Of an IP plus a port is called a socket. So you can have 5 different IP addresses delivering content simultaneously, streaming it through much more quickly to your computer, and independent of the fact that the computer is drawing the data from 2 separate sites. So effectively, by moving content such as pictures to another server with a separate IP address, you're creating a separate socket. And you can have multiple sockets at once, so your site will load a lot faster. It also puts less strain on your server's core processor, and if you have shared hosting, it helps as well, because that's also a problem. There are lots of things that I could describe and explain, but I'm not going to, because that's total network operations, network engineering, and data communications, which is what I'm specialized in. So after all of that, there's okay, all right. There's not too much besides that, outside of the fact that I got a call from my wife today, and a lot of people don't know I'm married. There are a bunch of people out there who have known me for years, and they don't realize that I am married. And my wife is up in New York City, and I have been trying to, I'm working to get back up there. So this is the way I normally dress every day in New York City. If I go out to work, I have to go to several different professional businesses, and Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, and Staten Island. And I need to be dressed with a tie and a shirt and a pair of slacks and a pair of shine shoes and so forth and so on. So I'm preparing to go back to New York. And in the meantime, I've decided, well, when I go out in public and I have to do something outside, I'm going to put on the usual costume, the shirt and the tie and the whole thing, which is independent of my knowledge, but it's still, it impresses people, so I suppose that's a good thing. And I'm going to be headed up there on for Christmas, and then I'm going to stay there until New Year's, and Hilda and I are going to go out. Her name is Hilda. And I have a wonderful daughter, Ingrid, and I have a son named James, and I'm going to be headed up there, and I'll be spending some time with the family, if everything works out just right, which I hope it will, and that'll be great. So thanks, folks, and I hope to see you guys next week. I'm sorry, this one's a little late. It's actually for last weekend, but you know how it is. Things get pretty busy. Here's actually, I've just taken a look at this. This was me when I was a network administrator at the Intrepid Sea Air Space Museum. And you can see I look exactly the same now. And of course I got one from the Department of Labor, New York State Department of Labor. I have one from, I don't remember where else, but I got some separate IDs and stuff from up there, just as a reminder that I actually am a professional. And this has been Hernando County Business Professionals. And thank you very much, and I will see you next week.